Quick question for all of you, really. Well, one each. For Mark, how's George coming on? Is there any news about when he's coming back? How he's doing? For Dale.
Not a good sign.
I thought he was going to at least point to me.
Well, you've got so many names on Facebook, you forget which one he's supposed to be called by. The Bolton saga, is that getting any conclusion, any money from that? Is it looking like we're going to get anything out of them? And for Rich, if he gets it, can we sign Jack?
What was mine again? George. George starts running tomorrow. There's a little insight for it. It's been a tough few months for him. So it was a horrendous tackle. He then got 2 different infections in his wound, which delayed him for a month. He had a plate screwed into his bone, which got infected. But he's over that now, starts running tomorrow. So we're hoping he'll be fit for January, which is, this doesn't sound too far away, does it, when you say it like that?
Yeah, on the Bolton front, the new people in charge there, we get on really well with. I spoke to Jelly there a few times, met at least once. They're coming down next week. They're really interested in what we're doing. They want to adopt some of our eco stuff at the club, which is really cool. And we've done a deal, but we're not ready to announce it. But it's not going to go to court. We just compromised on both sides. And yes, we're going to get some money. He doesn't know that yet, so he hasn't made any decisions.
That was going to be the question when we finish. Jack's one we'd love to have, but whatever comes of it, we've actually forged a great link with Celtic as well. We've seen how we've treated their young players, and they think that we're a good home to look after their players going forward. So whether we get Jack or whether we don't, we've actually forged a really solid link with one of the biggest football clubs in Europe. So whatever comes, we've got a big positive out of it, and just enjoy Jack while he's here as well.
Hi, one for Mark and Richard. I'll divert it more to Mark if I can, because Richard's already said he's not going to give the game away about January. So, but I suppose a concern of mine as a fan on Saturday was, and particularly where we ended up going a goal down, we didn't have many attacking options on the bench, and it sounds like maybe Sean's a little bit out of favour. Junior Mondal wasn't there. Obviously, Grubb's injured, Williams injured, Freer's out. So I have a concern, not with the 3 lads that were on, because I thought they worked really hard, but if we want to change the game, okay, you can chuck Matt Mills in there as a very different option, but I suppose I have a bit of a concern about, how do we support those forward players?
Fair point. I'm very happy with the strikers we've got. Obviously, we've mentioned Sean, you've mentioned the injuries. We've got some big players not fit. George Williams is a massive game changer for us, and I think if we could have put George on the pitch Saturday, Elliot Free would have started. That's 2 real attacking misses that are difficult to replace. So, and I will say about Saturday, we didn't do an awful lot wrong Saturday. If we had that game back again, it would be a different result, because you're talking 2 inches this way, that way, mitigating factors, which I would say, yeah. I'm glad you said that. So listen, we didn't do a lot wrong Saturday. When you analyse the game back, which we do all the time, I couldn't berate the players because they put an unbelievable amount of effort in, got done with a lucky deflection. We had some opportunities that on another day, Jack Aitchison scores, and Aaron Collins has a one-on-one where he should roll to Jack. We win the game. It's a 2 or 3-0 game. When you look at the data, the stats, on any other day it's a 2 or 3-0 win for Forest Green. It just, sometimes it goes the other way, and you have to...
They weren't close.
You have to wipe your mouth and move on and say, right, okay, that hurt. Wasn't very nice Saturday, Sunday. Hurt, but we have to use that to motivate us for Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, and make sure we're in a really good run of form. I like the chemistry of the squad of players. They've got a good togetherness, and there's a real desire not to lose many games. And if we keep going, I think yes, in January there is going to be some outs, there is going to be some ins. By nature that always happens, and I would think a striker would be on the list. But we're not just going to bring people in for the sake of it, because we've got some really good young players and we want to work with them and make them better.
How confident are we that Ibu Adams will still be our player beyond January?
Confident. Ibu's been great since he came in. He's finding his feet back in the league again. There'll be interest, but we're not in a position where we need to do anything really, so very confident he'll stay a Forest Green Rovers player come January.
There was another one online to Dale. Dale, why is it okay for you to have a political sign on the stadium, please keep politics out of football?
Yeah, we can't keep politics out of football. Politics is everywhere, and nobody could have missed how impactful politics is in our lives. The last 3 years have been dedicated to the pursuit of Brexit, to the detriment of everything else in our country, but more importantly, climate change is the really big threat that we're facing and we have to deal with, and we can't keep that out of football either. And there is a Dave Drew sign on the gate of the club, and I'm happy for that. Labour have got the greenest policies of I think any party in the country, including the Green Party, and we need to see them get elected to bring some real change to the country and tackle some of our problems. I've got no problem with that. And football has to take responsibility for all sorts of things. Already football is involved in fights against racism, sexism, homophobia, that kind of stuff. Football has a responsibility, and I don't see that being any different in the sphere of politics or the environment. That's my view.
Has there been like a plan B put in place, just in case you don't get permission regarding the current ground? I mean, there's a lot of things that could be improved. Trevor Horsley built this ground suitable for the League 2 and for the club to grow, and I think there is a large possibility of that up here. Also, with the new ground, if it was given permission, a lot of grounds built lately, such as Spurs, have been designed by people with qualifications in like audio. I forgot the word I was thinking of. They use the stands, reflect the noise, and it's been took into consideration majorly over other aspects, as well as safe standing is coming into league football nowadays. It just seems to have a wooden stadium designed by someone won over a Twitter competition. Seems a bit silly really, when there's professionals out there in England, they're doing brilliant jobs with like the EMAS, White Hart Lane Stadium. Anyway.
Cool, thanks for that. So plan B is to stay here. That's what we can do. But I think plan A is going to work. And I don't know everybody wants us to move, but I think it's the right thing for the club for the long term. It's how we're going to get ourselves to the championship, which I think is going to be a great place to be. The stadium itself wasn't a result of a Twitter competition. It was an architects competition. We had 15 or 20 entries from all over the world. The people that won it, Zaha Hadid's practice, they're an internationally renowned architects practice. They've designed sports stadia all over the world, so I think they know what they're doing. And plan B to be here is fine, but we have problems. You probably saw we had a tanker at the game on Saturday because there's not enough water when it's busy here. We have a limit on power as well. We're trying to increase the size of the outlets to serve more food, but there's a restriction on the amount of power we can get from the grid. Obviously, we've got a limit to parking. The road is a big limit. It's hard to get out after a big game. There are all sorts of problems here that we just can't solve, actually. But we can exist here. I mean, you say it was built for league football. Well, here we are. We're in the league. So it's working. It's doing that. But it just could be better. We could have bigger crowds, and we can go further, I think, if we have a new home.
Say the new ground does get accepted. I think it'd be good maybe, as I said earlier, taking into consideration maybe like a singing section in the stands, or like maybe a safe standing area or things like that, and maybe take the aspect of kind of like an eco park away from it. I mean, that's what you aim it for, and it's a good idea, but I think kind of keep the football aspect of it as well. Try and keep an area for the football fans, for the people who've been coming to this club for 15, 20, 30, 50 years even, some people. And yeah, I think it could, there's a chance it could be, if you left the club, the stadium could just be a big white elephant. I mean, all the old fans have given up coming, and then once you leave, all the vegan new fans are like, oh, we're not going to go anymore, and it could be the end of the club. But hopefully all the South Stand fans took into consideration in the new stand and the development.
Yeah, that's fair, I understand that. I would say that when I got here, this stadium was a bit of a white elephant for the club. It was a real drain. It was causing the financial problems the club was in, because it was much bigger than the fan base of the club could support. So I get where you're coming from. And you don't have to worry about the new stadium. It's going to be about football first and foremost. So we'll have safe standards, singing sections, all that kind of stuff. We want to have a great football club, and that's our focus. When we talk about Eco Park and sustainability in terms of design and all the other kind of stuff that we're doing there, that's not in conflict with having a great football stadium and a proper football club. We're just different. You know, it's not been done before, combining the environment with a football club, but I think we're showing that it works.
Around the local area where the new ground is planned, there's no real large amount of pubs, things to do. The only sort of thing would be the ground bar, which a lot of people obviously don't want to use. As well as...
Why not? Why wouldn't they want to use the ground bar? I don't get it.
A lot of people like sort of that idea of having their own space and then walking to the ground sort of thing. Like a lot of people use local businesses in Nailsworth and then walk up because they prefer not to spend money at the club. They prefer to support local businesses.
Well, you know, Eastington is probably as close to the new ground as Nailsworth is to here without a big hill to walk up and down.
Sure, Badger, welcome with open arms.
So that's two. So the away fans at one, everyone else at the other.
Yeah, if you like, I don't mind. But you know, it's there, it's not that far away, and it won't be that hard to get to. And I don't think everybody wants to go to a local pub and not go on. We'll have so much space there as well for facilities. I mean, a crazy amount of space compared to what we've got here. I don't think that's going to be a problem myself.
Dale, do you prefer peanut butter or Marmite?
What was the first choice? I heard Marmite, I didn't hear the other one.
Peanut butter.
Oh, no, I like them both. You got to put them together. And then add some brown sauce.
How surprised have you been that Reece Brown hasn't been getting any game time at Huddersfield?
Could go to town on that one, can I? Surprised, so I think he's a wonderful football player. Championship is a tough physical league, and I know they've been doing work with him to try and make him bigger, but I don't think that works for Reece. I think he is what he is. If you're going to play Reece, you have to build a team around him, not the other way around. So I think you take away too much of what his ability is. So I've had 20 calls from managers, I would say, in the last 3 weeks at varying clubs from Championship and League One asking about Reece for January. Would he do a good job for us? Can he do this? Can he do that? Can he defend? No, just play him as a free player and let him do what he wants, and he'll have a good player.
A question for Mark. What would make your perfect team?
Say that again. What?
So what would make your perfect team? What's missing, or do you think you have a perfect team?
No, never ever perfect. What would make a perfect team? If I could pick the referee, maybe now and again. I think you're always striving for perfection. I certainly am as a coach, and it's very difficult to get. I think the Cheltenham day felt like that. But no, I think as long as you strive to get better, and we try and get better every day in what we do, the work we do with the players, and I think the most pleasing thing for me is we've got some really good guys as well, really good young men. They're polite, they're humble, they don't rub anyone's nose in it when they win, they're dignified when they lose, and I think that's important as well. I think that'll stand them in good stead going forward. Maybe Messi would help, and Ronaldo.
two questions really, one for Mark, one for Dale. First of all, for Mark, is the assistant manager role. I think Matt Mills seems to be doing quite well myself, and he seems to be quite a confident coach. And I was wondering if you're maybe looking for assistant manager, or are you thinking of keeping him on under you as your number 2 more permanently? And also for Dale, totally different question. I go to loads of away games, pretty much everyone, and the number of fans is so small, it's embarrassing compared to other clubs. I mean, personally myself, I don't know how to improve it, but maybe there could be a way on social media, or there's some way someone in the club could try and advertise the away games more, because some games I've been to this year, they've been like 60, 70 of us, and it's a bit downheartening. I imagine it rubs off on the players, Mark, to be honest, but...
I'll touch on that. I've been impressed with our away support. I think it's better than the home support because it's more vocal. It always, every club in the country, it always is. And away from home, the fans have been good. It's not interfered with our record. So we have a really good away record over the last 2 years. Yes, we'd love the Cheltenham following every week. That'd be out of this world, and I think that's what we've got to try and aspire to as a football club. But I think you only get that by growing the football club and becoming more successful. The more successful you get, the more fans you get on board. But the Cheltenham game was incredible. I think you saw from my reaction after the game what it meant, and that is what we want to be working in every week. We want to be working in those atmospheres every week because it's a proper game. You know, it makes you feel as though you're involved in a big league football match, and we want that to grow. We want that to continue. The assistant manager, Matt Mills, has done fantastically well. I think he's going to be a really, really good coach, but I still think he's got a really big part to play on the pitch, because when he's fit, he's above the level. He's combining his roles. I'm trying to help him with his coaching. And trying to find a way where it works early part of the week for him to coach, later part of the week. Got to get his mind on the game and get himself focused and fit for that. But at the moment, I'm not looking to fill the assistant manager on. Happy with the staff I've got.
Cool. Look, I agree with you. I think our away following will grow as our crowds grow. Just pick up on your final point. It's not just nationally, we've got another crowd that are following us internationally. And the latest update on the number of different countries of the world where we have a fans group is that we've got 50 different countries of the world where there's a Forest Green supporters group that are following us, which is just shocking to me in a good way. And when we launched our new first team kit, the tiger stripe, zebra stripe, at the start of the season, within 24 hours we'd sold some shirts to 17 different countries, fans in 17 different countries of the world, just to give you a kind of sense of the reach that we have as a club. We refer to them as our crowd in the cloud. Remote fans of Forest Green, and like I say, you know, they've kind of bonded with the club because of our stance on environment and stuff like that. And you know, they're doing it from a very long way away, not just north of our country, but from, you know, the southern hemisphere in many cases, and some remote parts of the world. So just to share that with you, really.
As a drummer, like looking at other clubs and the way that their drummers have sort of scaffolding stands in the stands, so that when there's bigger crowds, the drum isn't getting knocked with it just being on the concrete step. Would there be any sort of way that the drum could have like a scaffolding stand for me to stand on to play it? Like not only so I can play the drum without being like interrupted from people bouncing about in the south stand, but then like other people can hear the drum a lot louder, and it can maybe go onto the main stand and they can join in and going on to north stand as well. I was just wondering if that was a possibility or...
Yeah, I've not seen what you're talking about, but from my perspective, I'd like the drumming to be louder and more constant, and anything that we could do to help that.
With the drum being on the step, it's not having a lot of space to sort of create enough noise, and that's kind of the problem with it just being on the step. It needs to be like elevated, so I was just wondering if that was...
Can you get like a strap so you can wear it?
The drum's too heavy to have around the waist. It's quite a big drum.
Alright, so you need it raised on the platform?
Yeah, like raised even just a little bit, like maybe having it on the barrier on the side or something like that. It's just sort of a question that...
Yeah, it's a good question. Like I said, I want the drumming to be louder, more constant, and so what we can do to help you do that, then we will. So that's something we'll have to have a conversation about.
Okay, thank you.
Mark, what's your minimum expectations for this season? Promotion or playoffs?
Don't really like setting targets, if I'm honest. Always talk about the next game, really boring. I think when you have such a good start to the season, of course you want to carry that on. Listen, I'd love to get the club promoted into League One, and then we can start talking about having days out to Stoke, maybe Millwall. I'm sure we'll need all of the South Stand boys when we go there, and they won't be worrying about bits and pieces, pies and pints. So, listen, we're going to try and do as well as we can. I've listened to all of the stuff about the South Stand. The players absolutely buzz off the support of you guys because they notice a difference when you're there, believe me. So I would say, for the sake of the season, put all your differences aside, get yourself to the game and be as loud as you can because you make a hell of a difference when you're here and the players really appreciate it. Yeah. Right?